Welcome back to another episode of the Moniece Hour. I'm your host, Moniece, a queer mom, an artist, and someone navigating life while working full time in tech. This is a space where we keep it real, share stories, and find inspiration together. So, if you're here for honest talk, motivation, and a bit of company on this journey that we call life, then you're in the right place. So, let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about love because Valentine's Day is this week, and I want to make sure that everybody, whether you're in a relationship or not, has the validation that they need to have a great Valentine's Day, that you don't take anything personal, and that it's just a day of love, whether it's romantic or platonic. So, don't feel bad if you don't have a romantic partnership. Just appreciate the people in your life and all those around you and give as much love as you can. And so I'm excited about this episode is because I love love, whether it's romantic love or platonic love. I just want to discuss love because, well, I'm a lover girl by heart and a hopeless romantic. So with that, let's get into the episode. Before we start talking about love, I did want to update you guys about last week's yoga sculpt class that I mentioned in the last episode. I told you all that I would be taking the class for the first time to take myself out of my comfort zone. And so I attended the class, and when I tell you it was so amazing, it was one of the best classes that I've ever taken. The people there were so nice and kind. The host helper, they all greeted me. They were so excited to see me, all of the things. And I felt so empowered to be there. The workout was so hard and I wanted to quit so many times, but I kept reminding myself that, you need to keep going. Because even though this hurts, even though this burns or whatever, the outcome of it is going to be amazing if you stick to it. And it was the best workout. I felt so good afterwards. I burned almost 400 calories doing that. And for those of you that don't know, this was a yoga sculpt class, and it's a mixture of yoga movements, strength training, and Pilates movements all in one. And so it will really make you break a sweat because you're using a lot of your body weight for these. It strengthens your core. And the next morning, honey, I felt like I was hit by a bus because I was so sore. My entire body, my core, my back, my sides, my butt, my legs, like every inch of me was sore. But I would do it again, and I'm really happy that I did it because it just made me realize that I need to love myself more, trust myself more, and really stick to the things that I want to do and not let fear get me down. And why it's so important to push yourself outside of your comfort zone because it really does help you become a better person. If you are scared to jump into something new because you're afraid to get out of your comfort zone, whatever it is, workout class, singing class, or going to that meeting or hosting a meeting or whatever, do it. You will thank yourself for it later on. Now, let's get into this episode. So, let's talk about love. Valentine's Day, traditionally speaking, is a day that many people, especially single people, like to avoid. There are many people that get sad on Valentine's Day when they don't have a partner because you're watching social media videos and pictures or seeing social media pictures where people are being surprised by their partners with flowers, hotels, rooms, gifts, chocolates, all of the things, and it feels like they're showered with love. But here you are on Valentine's Day night, you are single. You have nobody surprising you with things, you have nobody giving you nothing, and you're feeling pretty miserable. That is a lot of people's experience with Valentine's Day. And while not everybody feels like that, a lot of people do have a sense of sadness when it comes to Valentine's Day. And I too was a person that used to feel bad when Valentine's Day would come around because I never had a partner. But that changed for me, and we'll also get into that later on. But little do people know, Valentine's Day is a day of love, whether it's romantic or platonic. And the first practice of love that you can give yourself on Valentine's Day is self-love. So for all of my single people out there, including myself, if you're single on Valentine's Day and you know how you feel when Valentine's Day comes around, especially when you're single and you don't have a partner, it's just the end of the world. Let's fix that for you. So Valentine's Day is coming up. Valentine's Day is on Friday. So when you hear this episode Sunday, yeah, Friday is Valentine's Day. If you know how you get on Valentine's Day, let's do something about it. So practices of self-love. Buying yourself flowers. That's step number one. Buying yourself flowers or a plant, whichever one. And if you want to get really fancy with it, buy yourself flowers and then have them delivered to your house. From me to me type shit. Or something cute, whatever you want to do. That's step number one. Do that for yourself. Think about what you want to do on Valentine's Day. So if you want to go out for a nice dinner, if you want to cook a nice dinner, or you want to attend a show, or whatever it is, start planning for it now. If you want to go to a nice dinner somewhere, go ahead and make reservations for yourself as if it's for you and someone else, but it's for yourself. Make sure you have a nice outfit. Treat this as if you're going on a date, but you're actually going on a date with yourself, right? So get yourself dressed up. The same things you would do for a traditional date, do for yourself. Buy that dress, whatever you want to do, put makeup on, or buy that nice outfit that makes you feel the most confident. Do your hair nice. Make sure you smell good. All of the things. And start preparing for that day as if it is a date that you're about to go on. Okay? If you're wanting to cook yourself a nice meal, start looking up recipes, start getting the ingredients together so that you can have that stuff. And if you want to make a nice dinner for yourself at home instead of going out and dealing with the Valentine's Day crowd, because I understand, then maybe make the ambiance in your apartment or your house, wherever, kind of fancy, like a date night, you know? Have candles, flowers on the table, and just make it feel so good, right? Because you are pampering yourself. It's all about you right now. So love yourself, love on yourself the way that you want somebody else to love on you. If you want chocolates, all of the things, you know, get yourself your favorite chocolates and just hang out with yourself and spend some time with yourself. I'm going to say this, like one of my favorite Valentine's Day memories, because I haven't had really many Valentine's Day where I was like in a relationship. So in 2020, I was single for Valentine's Day, I remember. And what I did was my daughter was with family and I booked myself a hotel. So I had a little staycation. I went to a bar across the street, had drinks and dinner by myself, with myself, and then went back to my hotel room, had a little bit of a hangover, and passed out. It was a great Valentine's Day for me. And earlier that evening, I actually watched my mom's play. I was a helper at a play that she had in Atlanta back in 2020. So after the play, I left, you know, freshened up in my hotel room, took myself out. Great experience. And it was a Valentine's Day that I'll never forget because I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed loving on myself. I enjoyed doing something that just felt so empowering. So if you're a single person, don't forget about yourself on Valentine's Day. If other people don't think about you, you have to think about you. And so do that thing, take yourself out, get dressed up. Because when people say, oh, I wish I had someone on Valentine's Day so I can go do this. No, you don't need anybody to go have fun. It's called self-love, honey. So that is the first form of love that needs to be practiced on Valentine's Day, honestly, whether you're in a relationship or you're not. Number 2, love on the people around you, especially your friends, right? So let's say you are single for Valentine's Day. And maybe you even have single friends on Valentine's Day. You can wish them a happy Valentine's Day. You can buy your friends chocolates, flowers, whatever to make them feel loved and just let them know how much you appreciate them. You can send them a text message and just call them. You can just see how they're doing, check in with them, make sure they're feeling okay that day, and express to them how much you love them and you're happy to have them in your life. That is another form of love. But it's coming from a platonic friendship. And if you do have friends that live in the state with you, maybe you guys can hang out, especially if you're all single. Maybe have a girls' night that night since it is a Friday. You guys go out, you guys hang out and things like that. That is a great way to spend Valentine's Day and just an idea. And also, when it comes to even those of you that are in a relationship, I want to talk about that because Valentine's Day is also just not all about spending so much money on things and buying expensive gifts, but it really is about showing your partner that you truly love, care about them, and you appreciate them. It doesn't necessarily have to be materialistic. I say this all the time. Valentine's Day is pretty much every single day. It's every single day, especially when you're in a relationship. You should be extending acts of kindness and love to your partner throughout your relationship, every day, every week, every month. None of it has to be materialistic, but there should not be a day where your partner is waiting for that, because that's the only day that they get that love or attention from you. Doing acts of service for your partner, giving your partner their love language is the best thing that you can do in a relationship, period, throughout the duration of your relationship. So that way your partner is not expecting this grand thing just one day a year. You're giving it to them all the time. So for me, on Valentine's Day, I was single, honestly, up until the age of 25. I was in a relationship on Valentine's Day in 2021, in 2022, and 2024. And I can tell you something about being in a relationship on Valentine's Day. I enjoyed those Valentine's Day because they were so low-key and chill. I'm really not a person that needs all of the fancy shit or needs something that's like an aesthetic so I can post it on the internet. I am a more intimate person. So Valentine's Day with my previous partner consisted of making dinner at home and just adding decorations. And I also have a kid, so my kid was part of our Valentine's Day plans. I remember in 22, I planned a night under the stars themed like indoor picnic thing at my apartment. So I had rose petals down. I had a red blanket down, like a picnic blanket, but it was red. I made a charcuterie board. I had mocktails, fruit, like all of the things, the cutesy things. And I had this little wooden tray that was on the floor for us to eat off of. And then I had like a galaxy lamp that pointed to the ceiling and showed like stars in the galaxy. So it felt like we were really outside looking at the stars. Very cute, very cheesy. And we watched movies and talked, and we even played a naughty card game. So that was a very chill and low-key Valentine's Day. But with my previous partner, I always showed her love throughout the years. Throughout the years, I made sure to surprise her, give her flowers, and show her how much I love and care about her through my actions, giving her her love language so that she felt appreciated and cared for by me. So Valentine's Day was just another day, but it was a day that I used to just make sure that we had quality time on Valentine's Day. Since I do have my kid all the time, I wanted to make sure that I made Valentine's Day just about her and I, which was very important to me. What I have learned about myself, though, since I'm not in a relationship on Valentine's Day, especially this year, I used to be very sad on Valentine's Day before 2020. And I would just feel so sad, so down, because I've never had anyone think about me or want to do something grand for me on Valentine's Day. Also, I was just never in a relationship. Now that I'm getting older, Valentine's Day really does feel like another day. And this year, I don't feel bothered or sad about it. For Valentine's Day this year, I'll be spending it with my daughter, buying her gifts, taking her to dinner, buying her flowers, and calling it a day. It's going to be a great time, mother-daughter date. But I realized that I have so much love to give, and I have so much love around me that I don't feel the need to feel like because it's Valentine's Day, no one loves me or cares about me because I'm not in a relationship. And that is because I experience so much love around me already, from my friends to family to even acquaintances at work, in my art. Like, I just experience so much love and joy around me. I don't have the feelings of loneliness, or I don't feel like being in a relationship validates if I'm loved or not, because that's how I used to view it when I was younger. And that is a huge, huge deal, which is why self-love is so important, because I've also built up my self-esteem and my confidence and my level, like my self-love and just the love that I have for myself has increased so much over the years that I no longer feel like someone else needs to validate if someone loves me or not, or if I'm loved, because I feel it around me. And love is an energy. It exists whether you're in a romantic situation or not, if you truly feel that. And if you are love, if you're giving love out and you are radiating love, you're going to also feel that love that you're radiating into yourself, if that makes sense. So that was an observation that I had about myself the other day. But the reason why I wanted to make this episode was because I know that there's many people that was or is feeling the way that I used to feel when I was younger when it came to Valentine's Day. And I'm here to just say that being in a relationship with someone doesn't validate if you're loved. It does not validate if you're loved or not. Love comes from within you. And before you even decide that you want to be in a relationship, you need to foster and strengthen your self-love. Love yourself deeply. Because even when you get into a relationship, if you lack self-love, you're going to always feel unfulfilled in those relationships. Because you're seeking for so much more from someone else when you already have it in you, and you're not seeking it from yourself. You're seeking it from an outside source. Does that make sense? So self-love is the foundation of all love in our lives. And that's why I said that when you have self-love, you're radiating love, and it's all throughout your body, because you are basically the definition of love. You're giving it, you're receiving it into yourself, and you're radiating it. You are also going to feel that love around you. And I know that I am full of love. I am love, and I love myself down, okay? So I don't feel the need to be in a relationship on a day to prove that I am loved. I love myself, and I enjoy my own company. So that's really important, and that's my message to my fellow single people out there, or just people that are feeling down today. I mentioned my favorite Valentine's Day moment was in 2020, but in a relationship, my favorite Valentine's Day moment was actually last year in 2024. I was in a long distance relationship with my partner that I had since 2020, sorry. And that's because I moved to North Carolina and they live in Georgia. So we made each other special gifts, like handcrafted gifts, and we mailed them in the mail. And then we also ordered each other food from a restaurant that was local to them. And we knew each other, so we just made a surprise order. Didn't tell each other what it was, so it was a surprise when we got it. And we also video chatted. We were on FaceTime while we were eating our dinner, while we were eating our dessert, while we opened up our Valentine's Day gifts. And that was such a beautiful moment. It felt so intimate. And I felt so loved, because my love language is, like, I do love gifts. I love quality time. And someone that, like, truly can meet me where I'm at. And I'm an artsy person. So if anyone that I'm dating, they make me something that's like arts and craft related, and they really put thought into it and all that stuff, I am in love, like shook, because that's such a beautiful gift to me. And it just goes to show me that I don't need what I thought I needed before. When I would see girls just like their partner surprising them with like a decorated room with balloons, roses, rose petals, all this stuff, chocolate, everything, I felt like I needed those things back then, because that's what I thought Valentine's Day was about. But last year's Valentine's Day was one of my favorite moments. It was just so intimate, and I felt so loved, and it was beautiful, honestly. It was so beautiful. If any of you have any Valentine's Day experiences that you want to discuss or tell me about, and you want me to share on the next episode, whether they're good or bad, or your thoughts on Valentine's Day, feel free to send me a DM on the Monice Hour on Instagram, or email me at themonicehour@gmail.com, and I would love to share the story or share your experiences or your thoughts, and we can discuss that together. But to tie this episode up, I know I've given some self-care, solo date, Valentine's Day ideas. And I also mentioned celebrating with friends. So I wanted to also mention that you could have a Galentine Day dinner or game night or movie night with your friends. You can also just do something new for yourself, like travel. I forgot to mention that. If you're single and you're able to do it, you can also take yourself on a mini weekend trip somewhere, whether it's a road trip or a flight somewhere, if you can afford it, and have fun that way. You can also surprise somebody in your life with your presence. So, visiting family, friends, or even sending messages to them. Maybe it's through mail, text message, whatever. But just remember that your worth isn't defined by your relationship status. And being in a relationship doesn't validate or confirm if you are loved or not. Because you can be loved and be single. Okay, so just remember that. I hope that this episode helped you reflect on your own views on Valentine's Day. And I really encourage all of you to redefine what Valentine's Day means for you specifically. Don't go off what you see on social media. Don't go off what you see other people doing. What does it mean to you? And if you have children, pour into them as well on Valentine's Day. Spend time with them and curate those core moments with them. Because like I said, Valentine's Day is about love in general. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. And as I end this episode, I want to leave you guys with a question. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to give me your response. What's one way you can love yourself more on this Valentine's Day? And you also want to share what you did on Valentine's Day or your plans for Valentine's Day. Feel free to let me know if you want to share. Till next time, I hope everyone has a happy Valentine's Day. I'm sending love to you. I'm sending light to you. I'm sending you positive energy. I hope it's a beautiful day for you. I hope you experience as much love as you deserve in this life. And I hope that it's filled with unexpected blessings and unexpected opportunities. And with that, be true to yourself. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.